Yeah, you're quite right. There has to be, and this is not on the horizon, a wholesale reform of Islam which would reject the literal understanding of the text. Right now, the literal understanding of the text is absolutely paramount in Islamic tradition and in the understanding of most Muslims worldwide. And so when you hear me read those things, there are not any exegetes who are explaining it all away. No. The literal understanding is absolutely central. Now, as far as it not being a religion, I have to say a religion purports to relate human beings to the divine. Islam purports to relate human beings to the divine. It is a religion. And that is indeed, you're correct, one of the reasons why we're hamstrung in dealing with it. But it is also a political system. And what I was trying to say before is it's a political, authoritarian, supremacist political system. And that as such, there needs to be a distinction in American law between Islam as the religion and Islam as the political system. Whether that will ever come about, I don't know. But I said very early on, this problem cannot be solved. It can only be managed. And it was managed. 100 years ago, you did not see the world on fire with jihad the way you see it today. Even when we were kids, we didn't hear about Islamic jihadis blowing themselves up all over the place, right? This is something that's come about over the last 30 years. Now, it would be a grave error to think it was invented in the last 30 years. It is as old as Muhammad and Islam. But it is a resurgence of things that had been in abeyance for a long time. If you walked in Cairo in 1968, most of the women were not wearing hijab. If you walk in Cairo in 2014, most of the women are wearing hijab. 100 years ago in Turkey, there were the Young Turks and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who said, Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, has failed because of Islam. And we have to discard Islam, insofar as it is possible to do so, and model secular Turkey after Western styles of governance. And then we will prosper. That was possible to happen because the West was strong, not just militarily, but culturally, societally, spiritually. It was confident in itself, confident in its own values, confident that it was the exponent of a superior, without any apology, superior civilization to that of Islam. And there were many Muslims who were noticing and were westernized and never waged jihad against the West. 100 years later, all that's gone. Secular Turkey is rapidly re-Islamizing, and all over the Islamic world we see areas that had been quite secular becoming very religious, and the women wearing the thing. What happened? Well, several things happened. The Saudis struck oil, and they spread this understanding of Islam all around the world. They spread, most specifically, a pamphlet entitled Jihad, the Forgotten Obligation, and recalled Muslims who had forgotten it to remember it. And the Khomeini revolution happened in Iran. And the Ayatollah Khomeini, remember, he was not in Iran before that. He was in France. And he conquered Iran by cassette tape from France. And his cassettes of his sermons smuggled into Iran and then broadcast around. And modern communications that enabled the spread of this understanding of Islam, it had all been forgotten and the Muslims were westernized. But it only happened in the context of a West that was strong. Now the West is weak. Yes, we have all the guns and the missiles and everything, and we could, if we wanted to, go in and flatten all these countries in a minute. You know, like Iraq was conquered in how many weeks? And then 10 years of the failed peace and the nation building and all that nonsense that was characterized by our loss of self-confidence. And the fact that we sponsored in Iraq and Afghanistan constitutions that did not say we will protect the freedom of speech. They did not say we will protect equality of rights of women. They did not say we will protect the understanding of human rights enshrined at the UN and embodied in the US Constitution. They said Islamic law is the highest law of the land. And so we were fighting and giving our blood and treasure to enshrine Islamic law in those countries. If we had stood up for American values instead, and for basic values of human rights, maybe the situation would be very different today. And if we were to do that now, I think we could still manage this problem and contain it. But no politician is talking that way.